Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Dr. Amy Beckley. Dr. Amy Beckley, an experienced infertility expert and PhD scientist, invented Proov after her own harrowing journey through infertility. Following 3 years of struggling to conceive and enduring 7 miscarriages, Dr. Beckley decided to leverage her scientific knowledge to find a solution. Her research led her to uncover a luteal phase defect, an issue related to ovulation quality, which was the root cause of her infertility problems. Determined to address this issue, Dr. Beckley developed a simple supplement that ultimately enabled her to conceive successfully. Proov is the result of her dedication and expertise, providing a tangible solution for women facing similar challenges in their fertility journeys. Well, good afternoon, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you jumping on, making some time this evening, hailing out of the great state of Colorado there in Denver. And again, appreciate you jumping on and doing one of these. My favorite thing in the world is meeting someone new and sharing their story. So Amy, let's just jump into your first question here. Can you share your personal journey with infertility and how it inspired you to create Proov?
Absolutely. So I'm a scientist. I've had 20 years of schooling, biology, chemistry, all kinds of stuff, math, physics. And when my husband and I decided to start trying for a baby, I figured it'd be very easy. I was a smart, educated woman that kind of waited till her ducks were in a row. I quickly learned it was not easy. And I knew nothing about my body, no way to get pregnant. And medical system was kind of broken in that I was forced to try on my own for 12 months. And during that time, I had multiple miscarriages. And they kept saying, well, it's normal, it just happens, keep trying. And eventually, I had to do IVF or in vitro fertilization. And that was about a $40,000 procedure. And after that, I was given a diagnosis of unexplained infertility. So being a scientist, I didn't like being unexplained. And so I really wanted to figure out what it was. So I went back to my doctor when I wanted my second child, and we figured out it was this very simple hormone deficiency that could have been solved with a very generic prescription. And that was so eye-opening that, healthcare was so broken that we are, forcing couples into IVF because we don't have the right diagnostics to help women understand why they're unable to conceive. So my daughter was a $10 prescription for a hormone called progesterone. And so I invented Proov, which is an at-home hormone monitoring system so that women could monitor their hormones at home, advocate, and hopefully avoid IVF if that is not absolutely necessary.
And it's such an amazing story. It's centered around the family and trying to, have a child. It's something very special in a marriage. And to struggle with that obviously was an eye-opener. And the fact that you were a scientist really spurred you into getting some sort of solution and delve in more so you could find out why. And I really like that part of your story. Really, really do. And so Amy, your next question here, if you could explain how Proov works and how it differs from other fertility products on the market.
Yeah. So most fertility products and most couples feel that the only thing they can control or the only thing they can track is timing. And so it's when am I fertile? When am I going to ovulate? I want to time intercourse or insemination. And it's really a timing issue. Well, for us, it wasn't a timing issue. It was, I just didn't have the hormones needed to support a pregnancy. And so what Proov is, it's a hormone monitoring system. It's urine-based. It's not blood. It's done at home through our free app. And it tracks the entire menstrual cycle. So we can tell you how many eggs you have, your full fertile window, as well as what happens after ovulation. So what everybody was missing is for a successful pregnancy, you need an egg to be released, and then you need enough progesterone to support implantation. And so that's really the crux of how Proov is different, is we monitor what's called the luteal phase, or something that happens after ovulation, to make sure they're making enough progesterone in urine to say that they have successfully ovulated.
Wow. And thank you. You broke that down for us in a way that we can understand that here in the audience. But I love that you can take this information and share it with our audience, which again is a global audience. So I really, really hope we get the message out about your story and what you've done to help people have a child. So thank you. And Amy, switching into your next question here, how has Proov impacted the lives of women struggling with infertility since its launch? Can you share maybe a success story?
Absolutely. Some people don't want to do IVF for religious reasons, financial reasons, whatever, can't afford it, don't have access to it. And so there have been a lot of couples that have had to go childless. And I will say, as a woman who wants desperately to start a family, it was the most devastating, depressing time. It affected my marriage. It affected every single thing. I was just thinking constantly, obsessing about fertility. It's very damaging. And so what Proov hopes to do is give couple hope, give them data, give them, ability to have a conversation with a doctor, give them options. And so we've helped many. We have over 100,000 users of our test and our platform. But those stories where, I've been trying for 3 years and didn't get any success, Proov showed me I just needed a simple hormone, got that prescription, and I was pregnant the next cycle. That's what makes it all worth it. My favorite success story is my sister. She's 8 years younger, and I love the fact that she learns from my mistakes. And so she used Proov before she got pregnant, and she got on this hormone supplement after she had negative results. And she went on to have a healthy pregnancy without having a single miscarriage. And so I want to save people from that trauma and that experience that I had as much as humanly possible. So we educate, we empower, we give that couple a voice in their healthcare decisions.
Love that story. And it touches somebody close to you in your life. And I think that's a really just great story you can share with the world. Really do. And I know, having someone, you mentioned learning from your mistakes or learning from some of the troubles or challenges you had to go through. So I appreciate that. I really do. And Amy, last question of the evening, looking ahead, what are your future plans for Proov and your work in the field of reproductive health?
Yeah. So we've come across a lot of people in our path, and we hear, well, I think I have something wrong with my hormones, but I'm not trying to conceive. What do you have for me? Can I use your kits? And so we actually are just launched a new test called Empower, and it is to help women in their 40s who are starting that transition into menopause understand their hormones. It's kind of devastating to get to that point in your career where you're, moving up the ladder and you feel awesome, and then you can't sleep, or you're gaining weight, or you can't think. And it's just one of those things that, the hormones just kind of go crazy, and you really want to know why. And a lot of women are turned away at their doctor, or they run standard blood work and everything's normal. And it's like, well, it's normal, but I still don't feel right. Something's a little off. And so we can track hormones across the cycle. And really the hormones that change are what cause the symptoms. And so we help explain the symptoms so that they can advocate for whatever treatment, whether that be lifestyle supplements or prescription medications, that's going to kind of bring them back to a quote unquote normal state where they aren't bothered by these kind of symptoms.
Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate that. I can truly tell this has touched you personally, your story, your sister's story, and many others. And I'm glad that you're on that constant improvement to get the word out there, do better for people that do have infertility or those types of challenges. So I appreciate that. And Amy, it was such a pleasure having you on this evening, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now.